Hello and welcome back. As always, thank you for tuning in and for your dedication and commitment to your spiritual path, journey, practice, sprint, marathon, 110-meter high hurdles, road full of potholes. I don't know, whatever it looks like today. You're here, and that's what matters. As always, you do not have to be a student of A Course in Miracles to benefit greatly from what's going to appear to come out of this pixelated image's mouth. And I have no idea what that's going to be, by the way. So stay tuned. Right? There's a message for you from the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher. And let's be very, very clear. That is who, that is what is doing the communication here. Again, you're looking at an image on a screen. I mean, that's what we look at. And the sound that you appear to hear is reproduced by this technology and all this stuff. This is nothing but a form that we can recognize. Middle-aged man from Arizona, which is about as common as you could ever hope to get and not special at all. When something connects for you, when something lands, it's the Holy Spirit, and you may 100% count on that. So, with that firmly in mind, you'll hear what you need to hear, and there's no way of knowing how you're going to receive that. The message of the Holy Spirit can come across in many different ways. The message is one, the outward form really appears to vary. Many forms, one correction. That is an idea that's central to A Course in Miracles, meaning the outward form varies greatly. There appear to be 8 billion of these little wild things running around, plus all of the other life forms here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock that we've taken to be our home, yet we know isn't, but it feels so painfully real. Well, there's a reason for that. And happily for us, there is a way that we can set all of this pain and suffering and delusion aside, not by hiding and saying, oh, I'm going to hide off from this. I'm going to wall myself off. No, I'll deal with that later. No, by bringing it to light right now. All of it. That's why I'm fond of saying spirituality is for grown-ups. It is. You're a grown-up. Bring all of your darkness to light. All of it. All of it. Even the stuff that scares you a lot. You know, that. Bring your darkness to the light. What happens? The light shines it away. It's gone. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness is gone. It is as though it were never there. And guess what? It wasn't ever there. It's not there now. But because it seems really painful and brutal, vicious and real to you, let's continue our conversation today. All things in this world that we strive for, all things in this world that we think we have to compete for, or everything that we deem valuable in this world, everything we deem good and worthy of our lifetime's pursuit, and all of our energy and time and money and all of that stuff. All of this stuff can and will and does hurt us, hurt. All things that we deem valuable and esteem and worship and bow down to and prostrate to and want to stroke and coddle in this world can and will hurt us. And they do. as long as we make them real to us. This is so. All of this can hurt us because we have not recognized that it is illusion. We've denied that all of this is an illusion, and in so doing, we've made it real to ourselves. And it looks real, and it feels real, and it tastes and smells real. All of that because we've chosen not to recognize that it is illusion. The central teaching of A Course in Miracles is there is no world! Exclamation point. So while that at first glance can seem very strange indeed, or flat out wrong, and highly, highly woo-woo out there, esoteric, pipe dreamy, and bizarre, it's true. And you know it. You do. You could choose not to acknowledge that. And each and every one of us maintains the power to deny truth all we want. Yet it does not make truth untrue. You know this wobbling, spinning ball of rock is an illusion, even though it appears to be our home and we walk on it and we see images taken from what this thing is that we call space, and it looks round and rather blue with patches of green and brown floating around on what we call tectonic plates and stuff. And there are these white things called clouds and stuff. Illusion. Yeah. Deep down, we know this. Yet we're here, apparently, because we have chosen not to recognize this. Therefore, everything that we see here can and will harm us. We've given it the power to do so, which may sound really harsh, but it's really the case. Again, this is an adult endeavor for grown-ups. It's about bringing all of our darkness to light, bringing all of our illusions to truth. The light of truth shines them away. That cannot be stated often enough. So I invite you to continue to tune in to these videos, not just this one, because, well, I don't know how many times that's going to come up again in the next few minutes, but it'll come up again and again and again. That's the purpose of watching something like this, of this repetition on the spiritual path, no matter the tradition. In this sense, A Course in Miracles is absolutely no different than any other path. They all repeat the same ideas over and over and over and over and over again. You getting it yet? That's the question. God is the only reality. There you go. And there is no world. So where are you? If God's the only reality, there is no world. You're not a body, which of course you know deep down. Deny all you want, of course, but you're not a body. This isn't you. This isn't me. It's a pixelated image on your screen. Who's the one doing the talking here? Who's the one listening? God is the only reality. There is no separation of any kind. In other words, if God's the only reality, there's no separate reality. It's a dream. This world is illusion. Okay. So what do we do with this? Because we've made it real to ourselves. Here we find that we need the repetition of ideas such as this, but you may protest that it doesn't really give you something to do. Okay, well, let's address that, shall we? This course is a self-study curriculum, and it is highly practical. Yeah, we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, and yeah, it can seem abstract and esoteric, and you may read passages of it and think, dude, what are you even talking about here? And maybe you're having that very same reaction right now. I don't know. I mean, it happens all the time. We haven't been trained and raised and conditioned and indoctrinated here in this world to think that God is the only reality, to acknowledge and accept that. Hmm. There's no separation of any kind. So people can fall into nihilism here on the spiritual path. And this is true not just of course students, but other traditions as well. We just see it a lot. You see it a lot in Eastern philosophy and Buddhism and things like that, where people think, okay, this is a dream. I'm going to check out. No, don't check out. And don't hate this wobbling, spinning ball of rock either, because that makes it real to you. It appears real to us because we've chosen not to accept that it's illusion. So, what do we do? Because we're immersed in all of this, so it appears. That's the operative point here. So it appears. The more you allow yourself to open to the messages of the Holy Spirit or Jesus, or call it whatever you want to call it, the more you open to these ideas here, the more you're going to begin to recognize that maybe this isn't concrete reality after all. And this course is highly practical. It gives us things to do. If you're going through the workbook for students or you've done that before, you'll know it gives you a lot of things to do in the form of practice periods, which in fact are meditation sessions. Yeah, that's what they are. If you've done the workbook, you remember those, where each day there, especially early on, there are suggested practice periods and suggested intervals for reminding yourself to practice that sort of thing to attenuate our mind, which wanders greatly. In fact, Jesus says we're far too tolerant of mind wandering. And what does this mean? But we bring our awareness back to the present moment. Oh, Eastern philosophy student, Buddhist student, should sound really familiar, huh? Yeah. This course has much in common with Buddhism. Much. It uses Christian terminology such as Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God, but it's pretty universal. I mean, even the use of the term ego, which is so prevalent here in the course's thought system, should sound very familiar to all of you who are used to or accustomed to Eastern philosophy. The course gives us something very practical to do in the present moment. Every time we notice that we're carried off, judging, blaming, and distracted, we bring our awareness back to true forgiveness of the Son of God. And we forgive in the present moment, in the mind, in the manner that the Course teaches, which is the subject of many videos right here, and we can always do more. So if you have questions about what exactly that entails, please feel welcome to ask them here in the group comment thread, and I will address them. It's a subject that is central to practicing this course because we're overlooking the surface level when we do it and cutting right to the chase, so to speak, getting right to the heart of the matter. We're choosing to look with the Holy Spirit, who looks right past all of our psychodrama, to truth itself, the essence of what is. And we're given something very practical to do. This is a course in mind training, and it wouldn't be any good to us if we weren't invited to do it all of the time. The beautiful thing here is we learn best by doing it. This is spirituality, after all. I mean, spirituality, no matter the tradition, no matter the outward form, is all about experience anyway, as you well know. It's all about experience. Experience teaches us the best. That's how we really learn. We viscerally, experientially get things. When we put them into practice, our experience demonstrates to us. It shows us and proves to us. Want proof? Good. Prove it to yourself. It proves to us that these ideas are true. And if you've been doing it for a while, you know. If you know, you know. I mean, really, it's true. It's powerful. Yeah, it's important to have some understanding of this with the intellect, but it's not essential, and you don't have to have that to start off and forgive. You don't have to understand all of these metaphysics and stuff in order to give love. Huh, exactly. Here in the world, we've done something very unhelpful to ourselves. We've made friends with the ego, this false sense of self. So we're given another friend instead, capital F, by the way. And this is from chapter 26, section 6 of the text. The ego is not worthy of the Son of God. Our false sense of separation, individuality, and our precious, cherished identity that's so easily bruised and wounded by the slightest little thing is not worthy. It's not a worthy companion of you. So you're invited to set it aside and choose instead the friend, capital F, that God appointed, Christ, the Son of God, i.e., yourself, capital S. So we forgive. We look with the Holy Spirit and recognize our brother as he is. Just is, right now and always. Christ, the Son of God. Which, by the way, does not refer to simply the historical Jesus. That would be exclusive. Huh. There is no separation of any kind, and it's Jesus himself that dictated this course that is speaking to us, saying there is no separation. The Christ is the extension of God, the Son of God, the thought of God. All of this, in other words. So as you make the decision here in the present moment to forgive, to extend love, to look with the Holy Spirit at all things that are going on in the world, including the world itself and yourself, your brother, as you look with our inner teacher, you see right beyond the surface level to what your brother really is, Christ, the Son of God. Here's something. As you see him, you see yourself, and you know that's true. See him as he really is. You see yourself as you really are. We extend love to our brother. That's what we do, each and every moment that we remember to do it. And our friend, capital F, will place gifts and give us gifts that are not of this world. He'll place gifts upon our throne that are not of this world. And this will happen when we make room for him on his. Make room for your brother. See him as he really is. So you see yourself. We're not conditioned in the world to do this, hence the repetition. It's why it's needed, because this road can seem painfully long. And yeah, we go about our regular daily life doing things. I mean, go to work, eat, sleep, pay bills, stuff. You know, I mean, unless you're called to take up robes and move off to the Himalayas and meditate for 27 years in complete isolation in a mountain cave, then we go about our daily life. Your brother needs you. And here's something really critically important. There are people in this world that you'll reach better than I will reach. I mean, I'm reaching you right now, which is a beautiful and wonderful thing. And I thank you very much for tuning in and for paying attention to the message of the Holy Spirit. There are people that you're meant to work with. What will that look like? Ask the Holy Spirit. Doesn't mean you have to turn on a camera and microphone and broadcast to an international audience. That's my own directive. Yours can and most likely will look very different. There are people out there that you're meant to reach. So reach them. We're all invited to do that. So yeah, that looks like paying this bill that's due. I don't know about you, but I got a stack of those things. And I've got an email inbox that won't quit and all of the stuff of 21st century life. So we can live what appears to be a perfectly normal life here in the world without believing in the reality of any of it. When the weight of it appears to crash down on you, when you're disturbed, when your peace of mind is disturbed in any way, that is an opportunity for forgiveness. So the more of these we recognize, the more we can do. If you've ever wondered why meditation and these workbook exercises are a thing, yeah, it's because of that. The more we can bring our present moment awareness to what's going on, the more of an opportunity we have to do something about it. If you don't know it's going on, how can you be expected to do anything about it? So we cultivate this awareness, one act of forgiveness at a time. Yeah, it's like meditation, one breath at a time. Slow down. It's very difficult, isn't it, to hear the Holy Spirit when you're frantic. It's why it's so important that you're doing what you're doing right now, taking time out of your busy life. So not only do I appreciate it, but also every single living thing appreciates it. People say here in the world, oh, yeah, we're all connected. Of course, we're all connected. There's no separation of any kind. There's one mind. So calm what appears to be your mind, you calm the whole mind. Ooh, what if we all got together and did that routinely? Hmm, something to think about, isn't it? The power you have is beyond your greatest imagination. So every time we catch ourselves judging, blaming, condemning, thinking someone's an idiot, there'll be plenty of opportunities today and every day to do just that. Every time we do that and return our awareness to the present moment, the only time that actually appears to exist anyway, there's no such thing as time. Past and future are gone. So let's bring our awareness to right now. That's when we choose love instead of fear. That's when we choose to forgive instead of blame and condemn. That's when we extend love instead of sowing further division and hatred. Okay. We do it right here, right now, in the present moment. When else? So if you're just tuning in, a lot of this can seem a little perplexing. That makes plenty of sense. After all, we've all been raised and indoctrinated. Let's call it like it really is here. Indoctrinated to think that this is us, that there's no escaping our daily drama. What daily drama? It's very, very important that we cultivate our relationship with our inner teacher and call it whatever you want to call it. The Holy Spirit's not a dude, by the way. I mean, yeah, the Course uses the masculine pronouns, he and him, pretty much as a matter of convention. Call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. What's in a name anyway? It's a collection of sounds. This name, Reverend Tomas Garza, what does that mean? I mean, really, collection of sounds. The Holy Spirit is always with you because it's part of our mind. It's part of you. So appeal to this part for guidance. Do that as often as you can remember to do it. So, because things can seem so odd, and they can seem so at any point, you could be a long-time student of this course and all of a sudden be hit with a, a seeming wall of misunderstanding and perplexity and stuff. Because it can seem like you're being squeezed through a very narrow tube and it's painful, right? Questions are always welcome here. So if you have them, please feel welcome to leave them. And if you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do that as well. That's the prompt over here in the corner of your screen. So you just click that or hover over that icon and boom, you'll be invited to join us. So please do that. There are several videos that appear each week. There's always something to talk about because there's always the present moment to return to. And here on Wobbling Spinning Ball of Rock, complete illusion, weird psychotic dream, we get distracted because the dream figures appear really real. They are not. So I thank you for joining me.